All right, you Gales Creek Original, Mountain Men, Cult, Militia, Minions. We need to talk about a few things, okay? We started out, we had fun. It was awesome, but I have questions about what exactly happened out there. And I also want to kind of give people an idea for when they come out, what they should expect for Mountain Man Militia Airsoft Simulation Day. So we started up here and I gave you the basic rule. And what's the basic only one rule here at Sasquatch Wallows? What is it?
Be prepared to explain your conduct to Sasquatch.
Be prepared to explain your conduct to Sasquatch. And I had a really great question when I said that. Someone said, well, what's conduct mean? That's interesting. It's actually an intransitive verb, and it means to direct the course of, manage, or control, to lead or guide. That's to conduct. So, what is your conduct? Anybody? Oh, a guide? Okay, what's going to guide you? So that's interesting. And immediately with our Sasquatch Wallows first blood routine of Mountain Man Cult, you got your first information drop. And it said this: a recluse mountain man is reportedly causing trouble at Sasquatch Wallows. He goes by the alias Sasquatch. You must venture into the forest to locate and determine Sasquatch's intentions. Follow your local mountain man guides, Porter and August, down Shakedown Street to 2nd Switchback, where you will receive additional orders. Behind me is Shakedown Street. Y'all left here perfectly fine with your Sasquatch guides following you. However, how'd you do? We'll see. So we now find ourselves at 1st Switchback. And I think the group that arrived may not have had a Sasquatch guide, because immediately on this T-post, they found a Walmart bag with a letter in it addressed to Porter and some water bottles. Now, we're at 1st Switchback. I believe, what did the last instruction say?
Go to 2nd Switchback.
Go to 2nd Switchback, not 1st Switchback. So when you open the letter, Sasquatch says, laugh out loud, I can't believe you fell for this. And then from down the way, a couple of you were killed by Sasquatch, who then disappeared into the forest. Follow directions. Second of all, I don't know. When I hit those, because I know I hit at least 2 or 3 of you, what was the revive? Did anybody actually revive those people? Did they play dead? Did they call their hits? I don't know. I disappeared into the forest. Did anyone have to revive any dead person at 1st Switchback? Yes, you did do. Okay, you did do a revive.
Of course it would be Hollis.
Good job. Which we're about to talk about, Augie. So you proceeded down Shakedown Street. However, were you listening to rules? Now, if you had been following along, you would have known what the gameplay boundaries were, because these were clearly posted on the website prior to game day. Not only that, but I also told my 2 Sasquatch guides, who were supposed to know this, that gameplay was to happen below Shakedown Street, downhill, that is west of Shakedown Street, between 1st and 2nd Switchbacks, and Poop Hill.
It's south.
It's west. Look at a map, brother.
Is that?
Look at a map, brother. And you, Sasquatch guides, or someone else decided to go above or east of Shakedown Street. That was a no-no. So you were attacked by Sasquatch, who immediately fled into the woods, and you scared little men ventured down Shakedown Street towards Second Switchback, where you should have been by now already. But if you would have marched, would you have been attacked? If you wouldn't have stopped at First Switchback, if you would have stayed on Shakedown Street and played in the gameplay area, would Sasquatch have executed justice on you?
No, we don't.
So you finally made it to Second Switchback. And if you had been paying attention at the pre-op briefing or online or paying attention to what was going on out here, it would somewhat make sense to you that this is the home base of the Patriots. Now, the Patriots, they're essentially the feds. They believe in law and order. They want to uphold the law, uphold the constitutions of Oregon and of the United States, and maintain the Union. These are all good things. So at Second Switchback, you received this letter, and it simply said, choose a general for the Patriots. Once that was done, the Patriot general received another letter for his eyes only. And it said, choose 1/4 of the militia minions to become patriots under your command and plant your flag to create a respawn point. Send the unselected militia minions down Shakedown Street to the crossroads.
That wasn't the secret part.
Oh, that wasn't the secret part?
No, that was above where it said
Oh, that was
secret.
above it. So was that read to everyone?
Yes, it was.
So the Patriot General read that to everyone, and you chose it. Okay. So that was full-blown knowledge. Interesting. Then there was the top secret part, which said mission, capture or kill Sasquatch. In order to achieve its mission, Patriots are entitled to collect the following taxes. 1, 10% of ammo for any creek crossing. 2, 25% of any ammo stash found. 3, 50% of ammo from anyone establishing a homestead on the other side of the creek. Patriots may proceed with their mission in 10 minutes. So, you chose a leader,
Yes, we
and
did.
he chose 2 fellow patriots
Yes, he
under
did.
his command. And then they sent everyone else along the way.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we had questions on, well, we didn't know what a militia minion was. Okay, has anyone seen the movie Minions? Oh, we have. So what do the minions do?
Obey.
They obey. And who do they obey? Gru. They obey Gru. So minions are simply little people that follow rules and obey commands. And what's the militia? Well, the militia is anyone of military age, of physical quality that can fight. And if you're out here, that means it's you. It's simply the armed citizenry. So when I say militia minions, it means pretty much anyone that's out here with an airsoft rifle. You would be an armed citizen of Sasquatch Wallows. Does that make sense? So all of those that were not chosen for the Patriots should have been proceeding to the crossroads. So you all made it. The militia minions that weren't picked as patriots, you made it down to the crossroads. This is where Shakedown Street ends. The trail to McGulligan's Pool goes off. There's a cut down to the main area of the creek. And if you go uphill, you go to Circle Bluff and then Poop Hill. And you're back at first switchback, then making a complete loop of the playing field. So it's way bigger than what we were playing on. But when you get to the crossroads, your instructions were elect a governor of the Oregonians. And I hear that you did elect a governor. Very good. I assume the election was all of the militia minions were able to elect that governor. Good. Now, the Oregonian governor received this following letter. Plant your flag at the crossroads to provide a spot for your militia minions to respawn. So now, if you had been paying attention to the rules, if you had been shot once on Shakedown Street on the way down here, you would have been able to be revived. If you were shot a second time, you had to go to a respawn point. But you didn't have a respawn point until you were either selected by the Patriots or the Oregonian governor planted the flag here at the crossroads. Once he planted the flag, you had a respawn point because you're an Oregonian and you are a militia minion. So then the Oregonian governor also received this top secret message. It said, mission, maintain the peace while ensuring all of Sasquatch Wallows is put to its highest and best use. Remember, the Oregonians, they want to keep the peace. They want to maintain the community and have tranquility. And that's their mission given by Sasquatch. But there was also an intelligence briefing, and the intelligence said there is a rumored ammo stash near the root ball of a giant downed red cedar in between Wild and Free and Loggers Landing. Now here's where things started to go sideways, because instead of simply saying whichever Sasquatch guide was still with them, either Porter or Augie, they say, okay, which way to Loggers Landing and Wild and Free? Where do we go? And the whole group would meander on. But this governor, for some reason, decided to choose a team and send the rest of the militia minions who had just elected him governor wandering wild in the forest with no apparent mission. Interesting choice, but I like it. Why? Because you have to make decisions playing this game. That decision, though, came back to bite y'all in the butt, okay? Because you had no idea where you were supposed to go or what you were supposed to do. You actually needed to work as a team to figure this out. And if you had, you would have found that Loggers Landing is that way, towards the creek.
I had no clue any of this was happening.
No, so that's why when they looped around to Loggers Landing and they're like, we don't know what's going on. It's because they split up their group for some reason. And then the leaders, what?
I wasn't even picked.
I know. And they didn't even pick you for the team, which is one of those, what are you thinking? You have no idea where you are in this forest, and you establish a team and you exclude the one person who has intimate knowledge of the ground you're playing on. That just baffles my mind, but minds are what?
For people who think.
For people who think. So we got to think about this stuff, guys, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so now, if you had still had a guide and you were together as the Oregonians, you would have been walking down this trail towards Loggers Landing, and you would have seen this giant tree that's down. And if any of you trail life people or anyone with outdoor knowledge of the trees in the Oregon Coast Range, you would see, wow,
It's a red cedar.
that's a giant red cedar that's down.
It smells like it.
Is there something I'm supposed to do? Oh, wait. There is a rumored ammo stash near the root ball of a giant downed red cedar in between Wild and Free, which is right over there, and Loggers Landing, which is around that corner. So if we go to the root ball, maybe there will be something there. I don't know.
Remember, Dad,
So if you would have followed the down cedar tree to the other side of the creek, you would have found this giant root ball and a huge bunker behind it, which had 4,000 rounds of BBs and I think 5 or 6 waters for those of you who forgot to bring your water, thinking your mommy was going to be able to help you in the middle of the woods. Be prepared. And while you were here, there also was some additional information you would have gleaned, because you would have gotten this following intelligence drop. Governor of Oregon. There is much fertile land in the creek valleys that is not being developed. Determine who is willing to explore and settle this wild land. Then choose half of your militia minions to establish an Oregonian homestead at Loggers Landing. Have them search near the burned out tree and old tank for an intelligence stash. So now you were one group. You were commanded to figure out who wants to go establish Loggers Landing and break into 2 groups. But it never said that those 2 groups had to part ways at this time. And in fact, you don't have another mission if you split up right now. So while you were to determine at Loggers Landing who wanted to stay there, even here, you didn't need to break into 2 groups, but you were already wandering aimless in the forest as multiple groups. So let's go to Loggers Landing and see what was supposed to happen next, and what actually did happen next. It was a bloodbath. So we're at Loggers Landing, and what's really funny is Augie knows this property so well that he just said, "Dad, you should have been hiding back there so when they came around you were hiding and could hop out of this trail no one uses and get them from behind." That is what happened. So he knows the property well, and for leaving him behind,
stupid move.
Very stupid move. Why you would do it, I don't know. But here's the deal. So the Oregonians should have made it over here, most likely as an intact group, but possibly not. But at Loggers Landing, what you were supposed to do, because you had your 2 groups, was choose ahead of the homestead. And on this giant log behind me, there was a flag. That would have been your respawn point if you had changed allegiances and changed homesteads, because the Oregonians now, remember, this is an Oregonian homestead, right? So you can. So the Oregonians would have just had a second respawn point for half of their people. Now, the head of the homestead received a top secret mission. Maintain your homestead at Loggers Landing at all costs. So his mission, the homesteaders, the half that were picked to have their respawn point here, their mission was to maintain this spot, defend this location at all costs. But there was further intelligence that said there is an ammo stash near the bottom of Addie's Lucky Charms at the roots of the downed trees on the way to Deadfall Points. Wow, that's a lot of information. Now, that's what, so these people should have then been, the other half, they could have told this information to the other half of the Oregonians that didn't need to maintain this spot to go get the ammo stash at Addie's Lucky Charms. That didn't happen. What happened instead was that the Patriots, who I had attacked over at Deadfall Point, I had attacked them, they had fallen back, and I had retreated up into this side canyon to wait for who should have appeared here, the Oregonians. But instead, the Patriots arrived here first. They took up defensive positions at the homestead, which has very defensible positions, and they figured... What?
Defensible.
Yes.
You said it's defendable.
Defendable.
Not defensible.
Yeah, you're right. See? I'm an idiot. Don't listen to me. So defendable positions. Okay? And they got a sniper up to the high ground along with the cover man and left one man down here. Now, for some reason, the Oregonians started coming towards Loggers Landing. Maybe by luck, I don't know. But they start coming, and instead of having a conversation, because remember, the Patriots' mission is to capture or kill me, the Oregonians' mission so far is simply maintain peace and develop the land. And they're coming over here to do that. Yet when these two groups...
supposed to tax them when they cross.
Yeah, that's correct. And the Patriots are supposed to tax them when they cross the creeks. And when they establish homesteads. And when they find ammo stashes. Yeah. But instead of attempting to tax them or maintain the peace, a firefight ensued. Now, during this firefight, the Oregonians who had been wandering lost in the woods started yelling, "We don't know what to do. We've been killed 1,000,000 times." The Patriots tell them, "You need to go back to your respawn point then and respawn and then get back in the game." And the Oregonians, since they had no team and were wandering lost in the woods, said, "We don't have a respawn point yet." Everybody on the Oregonians was a complete mess. So then, prior to when I wanted to, I emerged from my lair up the creek and I shot Porter, and then TW hops over to the other side. I'm completely without cover now. We're exchanged in a firefight, and at this time though, before I'm shot, I yell to the Oregonians to kill TW and spare me, and I will help them out. They did not help me out. They ran into the woods and left me to get shot in the forehead. Now, why would the Oregonians do that? What was the initial instruction up at the house?
Be prepared
But it was also, yes, explain your conduct, but also your conduct, your initial conduct with Sasquatch was to find him and find out what his intentions are. Mm-hmm. Sasquatch has only retaliated when rules have been broken so far. So, they should have helped me, and it would have gone well for them. But they didn't. TW shot me, and off we go to where the other half of the Oregonians should have been going, which was the bottom of Addie's Lucky Charms, in between Deadfall Point.
We went there. You forgot the intercepted message.
Oh yes, that's right. That is right. So while the Patriots were here, they just happened, because in the firefight with me, I actually took refuge back by this tree that Leia's at back there. And inside of there was the intelligence drop with the letter, and that's where they would have found out about Addie's Lucky Charms and the next ammo stash. But because I was over here and getting shot in the forehead, they looked over here, saw the letter, and intercepted it. So now
we intercepted a secret military message.
Exactly. And now the Patriots are using classified information to their own benefit. Would that be following the law? This is a question.
Well, it's war.
So
it's
war? How's it war already?
The Oregonians started firing at us.
Okay.
And Sasquatch.
Okay.
And then we intercepted.
But you weren't following the law when Sasquatch shot you.
Huh?
You weren't following the law when Sasquatch shot at you.
What, when we were defending the homestead?
Yeah.
How were we not following the law there?
Why were you engaged in a firefight with Oregonians?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Taylor and TW started fire.
So this is Deadfall Point. The creek comes down and it goes around this little peninsula, and the tree goes up, and it's a huge dead tree that's going to come down and kill someone someday. Hopefully we're not playing a game when it comes down. Oh well, you assume all risks when playing Mountain Man Cult. That includes death. So this is also the corner of the property, so do not go downstream from here. It is a Widowmaker, that's right, dude. So do not go downstream from this point. There is a little beach over here that's still on our property, so that's fine, but no further downstream or downhill from here. It's the corner of the property.
If you come down Addie's Lucky Charms.
Other than Addie's Lucky Charms, which is where we're going next. And if we remember, what was the intelligence?
The intelligence was that there was an ammo stash at Addie's
Where
Lucky
we can
Charms.
understand what you're saying. There's an ammo stash.
At Addie's Lucky Charms in the root ball of a tree near Deadfall Point.
Wait, if Deadfall Point is right back there,
And Addie's
Lucky Charms is up there, and there are these big down trees here, maybe we should take the trail underneath them, go under here, because the bottom of Addie's Lucky Charms is right over there at that corner. There's a dog over there, there's a switchback. Be sure to turn left and go uphill there to stay on the property. But if you would have come back here to the root ball, you would have found another ammo stash right there. And once again, there was another 4,000 BBs and about 5 waters. And let's see here.
It was in between 4,000 and 5,000.
Which you would have gotten this intelligence briefing. It's a two-parter. It's a good one. It says, it is rumored that the Patriots are leaving their base at 2nd Switchback unattended. Take their flag and they won't be able to respawn. Now, that turned out to be false intelligence, because the Patriots, unbeknownst to me, but at least one of them having been trained as a Padawan, as one that is trained in the pedantic art of law, realized that when I talked about planting your flag with them, it never said where they had to plant it. So they actually took their flag with them and planted it at multiple spots along the way. We're gonna have to fix that rule.
We never broke any rules, though.
But you didn't, but we're gonna have to fix that loophole. And that's the problem with law. Once you start writing laws down, people find loopholes, which only create more laws. But the second part of the intelligence drop. It is rumored that there is an ammo stash on the high road near the point overlooking the falls below McGulligan's Pool.
Oh, and the Patriots found this ammo.
And that's right, because the Patriots had intercepted the intelligence at Loggers Landing because the Oregonians went astray, they found the intelligence and made it over here. And got this intelligence, and they were working their way back towards McGulligan's Pool when disaster struck. Okay, so essentially what I hear happen is the Patriots come out, encounter some Oregonians who are over here. A firefight ensues, and Porter gets shot in the lip with a BB. It lodges in his lip, and he has to pop it out. So they call game halt, and they were screaming that over here, and Porter starts heading up this way, and of course, I was up by the deer stand. And I see them coming, and I start shooting at them when they inform me that there was a man down. So we called the game, everybody regrouped here at Beaver Flats, and we headed up. But if the game had continued, it would have continued up to the point overlooking McGilligan's Pool, or overlooking the falls below McGilligan's Pool, right?
Yes, sir.
That's where we're going. So we just crossed the creek on the log bridge from Beaver Flats, and we're up here at the deer tree point, or deer stand point, and there's a deer stand right there. Please don't climb it. But it's here at the end, and you can see the trail goes back down to Wild and Free in the creek crossing and over to Loggers Landing. And there is a nice ridge here that provides very good sniper positions for Loggers Landing,
which we took advantage of,
and Wild and Free. If you would have followed the high trail as we did up here, you get to this little point, which way down there are some falls. And if you keep going up the trail, you're at McGilligan's Pool. So you're at a point overlooking the falls on the high road, but below McGilligan's Pool. And you should have looked around. And if you would have looked around, then back behind this fern right up here, you would have found another ammo stash with water and this following intelligence briefing, which is the final one. It says, "News flash. Tired of being heavily taxed and wanting to be friends with the divinely ordained Lord of Sasquatch Wallows, the Oregonian homesteaders at Loggers Landing have declared independence and established the Mountain Man cult at Loggers Landing. They will do anything to protect their new homes, but laws must be enforced. Will there be liberty or will there be death?" So at this point, everybody was supposed to be ammoed up, fairly peaceful, set up for a final battle at Loggers Landing. We never got close to that. We need some older players. We need some dads for guidance. Get in the game. It's a whole bunch of fun. We had, about a dozen guys this time, which was a great size. But we can go much bigger. And I am thinking this next go round for the Into the Wild session of Mountain Man Cult, we're gonna look at probably right around 40 guys. So if we can get that many, if y'all have enough friends that wanna play, if Sasquatch doesn't schedule it on Memorial Day weekend, maybe these things will happen. So if you enjoyed your time on Saturday, and if you want to play again, or if this looks fun and you want to play, be sure to get on the newsletter, the Mountain Man Cult newsletter on the website, to stay up to date on when we're playing next and any new developments. Any last words, my wise sages?
Let me think.
No more wise words. That's it.